What's up, it's your boy Star Coach, and I'm back here with another video. And now this is going to be another Phantom Seer big review for chapters 6 through 11, which 11 just came out today. And honestly, like I tell you before every video, this is a series that you should be reading, but I'm finna, because I'm finna spoil it, I'll put a spoiler warning in front of it. But Phantom Series is a series that you should honestly be reading. It's probably one of the latest, newer, big jump titles that have just launched with only 11 chapters. So honestly, it's a good read and it's not that far to catch up to. So yeah, that's enough out of me for promoting the series. Now to get into the review. Honestly, from chapter 6 to 11, a lot of stuff was kind of explained to certain things, and some of the stuff that I had questions about through the first review, like from chapter 1 to 5, has already been kind of hinted at or answered fully. Now, the first answer that comes is like around the 7th chapter, but the 6th chapter is a continuation of the Kenma Iori tag team up, like, that little mission they get. Because right now it seems like a lot of the characters are going on, like, the new characters we're getting introduced are, we're now seeing their abilities and some stuff like that, such as what we see in, like, chapter 10 and 11. Even though the 10 and 11 chapter, those chapters have a different meaning for the missions they have together. But yeah, that's another thing I'm gonna touch on it a little bit later. But we get to see the little tag team between Kenma and Iori, and I will say one of the things that I also had, like, that I had also thought about Kenma is kind of true. How he kind of hates that, like, he kind of doesn't mind Iori, or doesn't hates his, he just kind of hates his guts and hates that he kind of wastes his ability, especially since he's so strong, since he doesn't do any of the work and stuff like that. He just hates that he's super talented, but he never wants to do anything with it. He doesn't never put his full, arsenal as a shaman on display, that often when he has a talent that he can do it with. So honestly, I kind of glad that I hit the nail right on, hit the nail right on the head with it, because I just kind of felt like he'll be a person that's kind of like not kind of a like not really a rival, but a person that just has a personal issue with him because he's stronger, but he doesn't use what he's capable of until certain moments. But yeah, I kind of glad that I kind of got that relationship kind of closed out. And I feel like, honestly, I can't wait to see for it to grow, because honestly, it feels like what Phantom Series is coming up to is kind of gonna be the turning point of what we see Iori. It could be. I feel like it could go two different ways. If it goes the first way I'm talking about, I think it could be something like a flip or a strip of Iori, or certain stuff like that, or it could be like keep on going and like to the point where he has to continue doing stuff like that. But I feel like I can get the feel of that from the chapters past 11. Chapter next week's chapter and so on. After the arc that's happening now wraps up. But yeah, I just can't wait to see that relationship develop between those two and see how far it goes. Does it change to something else, or is it, they have like a little gag going on right now, but I love Kim's character, the way he was introduced and stuff like that. Honestly, just kind of glad he's like a. I haven't seen many rivals like that to a certain extent. Most rivals, recognize each other's abilities and usually hate when each other gets ahead of them or something like that, or is like really competitive. But this seems like a kind of a rivalry where a person, like the one character, knows that this character is super strong, but he just doesn't do anything for it. So I can't wait to see how that develops once Iori gets more serious with what he's doing and uses his power more. I just can't wait to see how it changes from later on in the series. Also, another question that I got answered is kind of with the Exorcist, like how shamans operate in the world. And I honestly kind of feel like I like it. I'm kind of glad that they didn't just stick with the one little group of shamans, which, Iori and his sister Yayoi run. I'm kind of glad that they are now branching off with, Kurose being somebody else from another shaman group. I can't remember their name, but I think the name of Yayoi's and Iori's is Nabari. I think that's correct. But I'm kind of glad that they. I feel like honestly, what they can do in the future is branch off in different arcs towards different small organizations of shaman being introduced. But I feel like I kind of like how they are in the world, whereas they live in their kind of like own little secret society where they get jobs and stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of like smaller guilds and stuff like that. I kind of feel like I just enjoy that little thing because when more groups get introduced, it could be more potential great characters that can be introduced, and making them smaller groups can give time for certain characters to be fleshed out more when they start, going into groups and how they run and stuff like that. But honestly, I kind of just like that concept because I was trying to figure out where the world building was gonna go, how how the shamans hold their place. But it feels like I feel like them being their own little secret societies and dividing upon different groups and stuff like that. It's kind of good. And honestly, I feel like something else that they mentioned in the story could be possibly something that can be done, like some he was saying that not all, it's not most shaman don't work solo. It would be kind of honestly cool to see some of the shaman that do work, solo, especially with considering like how people think of the siblings Iori and you know Iori Yayoi is so powerful. Like if a shaman can do what they did solo, it's kind of just put some on that other tier. I can't wait to get how farther they go with certain things like that. But I'm just kind of glad to see certain things being fleshed out. And the biggest thing I pretty much gonna talk about right now is gonna be Iori. Kind of also hit the nail on this a little bit, but I kind of just like how they're doing it right now. How pretty much they're going into a little bit of Iori's backstory without fully just giving them the entire drop at the same time. It's like kind of feeding into it, like a little, little chapters this, little chapters this. We don't fully know what happened with Iori. I mean, we kind of do, but we don't know the full situation of why he was, why the girl he was protecting, like why was she protecting him and stuff like that, and things like that. And it's just kind of give us a little hint of what actually what kind of happened during that. We don't know the whole entire situation, but we know that whatever it is, whatever the phantom that they are that they're going to fight now is one of the biggest motivators for him to become a normal boy, but also one of the biggest motivators for him to finish his shaman job and his shaman job completely. When he gets rid of her, that's when he's going to quit. And I honestly feel like it's kind of a double-edged motivation to the point where he really wants to become a normal boy, but his motivation his motivation for also being a shaman is because it's directly tied to that thing. And this is kind of what I was talking about, where the story could branch off. If they end up defeating this, defeating this, this phantom that has so much to do with why Iori wants to be coming up a boy and stop being a shaman, I want to see how, how the story, like, honestly, let's be honest, if they defeat him, where would he go from there? Would he just honestly want to become another boy, or will something else happen to the point where he has no choice but to do it? Or they can go the route where she is a reoccurring villain, like she's kind of the main villain, but she's like a villain that pops in and pop out from time to time, because this has been the most human looking, phantom. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more, because honestly, it's like one of those things where a lot of the creatures and stuff like curses and Jujutsu Kaisen, you got like certain curses that don't talk or anything like that. They look they look like big monster. But then you get your deeper into the group, like you got your mojitos, you got your stuff like that. Even though a lot of them look kind of weird, they can actually talk, they can speak and stuff like that. And I feel like honestly we can have more of those, where the point where it's necessary for Igor to keep on doing his job as a shaman. And I feel like honestly that's also going to be a big factor in how if Riku becomes Riku, which is I haven't talked about it much. I will like in a minute. But if Riku keeps on becoming like more invested in wanting to become a shaman, I feel like you already would probably feel like it's his duty to keep her protective if he's, because if she's working so hard, I feel like honestly it's kind of that connection to, how do I put it, like, it's gonna be, this is gonna be a weird comparison, but it's kind of like how Meliodas is with Elizabeth, how like he was with like a girl, like with the, like, even though that's like a reincarnation type thing, he was kind of with that girl, and now he sees her, her and this other girl, so he has like a duty to feel like he wants to protect her, and I feel like that's kind of how it will be with Lori. I don't think it's a corny concept or anything like that, or an overused concept. I just feel like it's honestly the which in the way it can be done will be, it could be done super unique, and I would like to see how they, do that. But, now that I got to, got past that little thing, I honestly want to talk about Riku first. Riku. I think her, like, last name is Ibitsu. I think that's what Iori calls her. But honestly, I feel like she's a character that, like, especially from this last chapter, we seen her training and getting more better at sensing danger and stuff like that. I kind of feel like she has a role to become a more important character. Honestly, like, I feel like her little I don't want to be useless type of thing is kind of what happens to a lot of other female characters. But I feel like a lot of them, especially the newer gen, have showed out a lot and have brought a lot to the table instead of being a Sakura where she constantly failed at times to bring herself from not being useless. Like, I'm not a person that I'm a person that fully believes that Sakura isn't a totally useless character, but there's a lot of times that where she can't take action, even though she likes to hype herself up as being like a person that has caught up to Naruto and Sasuke. But I feel like the way the newer gen is going, a lot of the female characters have been showing out, especially when they have that attitude to the point where they don't want to become a burden anymore. And I feel like Riku has a potential to be one of the newer best girls in terms of just showing a jump. Honestly, I just can't wait to see how far she grows and how far her power grows, because right now it could be, just sensing danger. I don't think that she'll become a person that can will some of the stuff that, Iori and all that can. But honestly, I feel like she has a potential to become a better sensor and a better, she can. I don't feel like she has to exactly fight, but I feel like she can develop her own power from that. And I feel like I kind of want to get more into the power system from, that perspective on how powers can develop and stuff like that, and how they, can be manifested and stuff like that. Because if that's a thing, I honestly feel like it's a far thing. I honestly feel like it's a great thing that the series can do. And I just can't wait to see the potential of the power system once it's finally kind of explained. Because right now they're showing a lot of skills and showing a lot of like stuff like that. And I kind of like the backlash from Iori's and, even though it was one-sided, but I feel like honestly it has certain things, like if they use certain curses, they get tired out really quickly. If they use a lot of power, they get kind of tired out. So it's kind of more like, kind of like mana in certain series and stuff like that. Once you like, if you kind of run out, you just feel tired. It's not like chakra where if you run out, you just die. It's kind of like, I feel like it's a concept that can be easily, used and stuff like that. But yeah, this has been like the Phantom Seer chapter 6 to 11 review. Honestly, it's a great series, and I'm still hoping that it doesn't get axed. I'm seeing a lot of people who are picking it up are just enjoying it, and I kind of feel happy because I feel like it had a lot of potential, even just from like the picture of seeing Iori on the cover with just the key and the ghost. I honestly, like I said before, I love Exorcist series, and I like just how much people can do with them, because honestly, there's three different curse, it kind of Exorcist series running at the same time, which is Phantom Seer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Blue Exorcist, and all of them have different takes on how they deal with demons, curses, and stuff like that. Well, I forgot, but Twin Star Exorcist, and they have different kinds of stories to the point where it's unique and stuff like that. And I feel like Phantom Seer is setting itself away from that curve, which at first I thought like the first and 5 chapters, even though I really enjoyed this, I wanted to see how it was going to set itself away from the curve. And I feel like it has done this in this, in these 6 chapters that I have read. weekly and just went back and looked over it before I started recording this. But yeah, honestly, I'm dragging this on a little bit too much, but I feel like honestly it's just a great series, and I hope Shonen Jump doesn't exit because it's being trigger happy with certain things, and honestly it just needs it because with Haikyuu and Demon Slayer and Promised Neverland ending, and like Chainsaw Man is ending as well, they need something to be able to take their slots, or else they're not going to be that big magazine no more. But yeah, this has been Stark OJ. If you like this video, can you give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe. I know I haven't been recording, so I'm probably gonna just record, like, I'm probably just gonna start back trying to put out videos and stuff like that and content like for you guys. But yeah, this has been Stark OJ. Peace.